Are mail-in ballots full of fraud?
Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots.
Every state in the US has some sort of mail-in voting for federal elections. Some politicians and leaders, including President Trump, have claimed that mail-in ballots lead to widespread voter fraud. But supporters say mail-in ballots ensure every voice is heard. So which is it? How much fraud is there? And who votes by mail? Let me explain. The Census Bureau shows Americans cast more than 151 million ballots in the 2024 election, and 29% were mailed in. Let's look at that 29%. There are lots of reasons someone may vote by mail, from disabilities to convenience to even living abroad. Nearly half of Asian voters cast ballots by mail, followed by Hispanic and white voters. Over 36% of voters 65 and older voted this way. And people with bachelor's degrees or higher were more likely to vote by mail, as were families in the highest income bracket tracked. And then there are the people living with disabilities, who historically have slighter lower voter turnouts than those without. In 2024, about 20 million citizens living with disabilities voted. The census didn't say if those ballots were cast in person or by mail. But data from previous elections tells us those living with disabilities are more likely to vote by mail. Let's get down to voter fraud.
Massive fraud all over the place.
And compare two data sets, the Heritage Foundation's election fraud map and the American Presidency Project's record of how many ballots are cast in presidential elections. The Heritage Foundation identified 1,600 cases of voter fraud and misconduct since 1982, most resulting in criminal conviction. According to the American Presidency Project, voters have cast more than 1.3 billion ballots in all presidential elections since 1984. Okay, so the Heritage Foundation goes back to 82 and includes midterms, while the Presidency Project goes back to 84 and is only the generals. Yes, this is not an exact comparison. But if we take the 1,600 documented cases of voter fraud and misconduct and compare that to the 1.3 billion votes we know have been cast, that's a tiny fraction of a percent of ballots cast that may have been fraudulent. And it would be even smaller if we included midterm ballots in the equation. Any questions? Leave a comment. Oh, and with all these straight facts, let me give you my receipts. More at san.com.